The NBA playoffs have already begun, and our series are already off to a great start. The Texas Longhorns look to break an NFL draft record starting tomorrow night, and there is just only 1 week left in April, meaning it's time to bid farewell to TSTV Sports' veterans on the senior edition of the one and only College Crossfire.
All right, I'm going with classic, the 9-9-9. I'm going to do the 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings challenge.
Need I say more? Need I say more? Need I say more at all?
From Costco specifically, I'm going to take 2 double chunk chocolate cookies, ice cream sandwich, but it's fried.
It's about to get hot here, folks.
It's about to get hot. Good evening to everyone tuning in tonight. I'm your host, Robert Gonsoulin, and we've got a bittersweet show here tonight. Yes, bittersweet. I know I've said this before, but it really did feel like just last week we were talking about Texas football's big win over Michigan back in September. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have the privilege of joining 6 other seniors who have been a valuable part of our station for the past 3 or 4 years in conducting one final show and saying goodbye to the TSTV family. Tonight we're going to try and squeeze out every bit of fun and excitement here tonight and make this one the best show yet. As always, before we begin, I want to share that today's show is brought to you by Cat Metro, Austin's transit system. We connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between, so plan your ride to this weekend's game at catmetro.org. All right, so without further ado, it's time to get right into it. There will be 2 blocks with each one containing 3 questions. 3 seniors on each block. Coming on the first block, there's going to be 3 questions. Y'all prepared and seen how they all go down. The top 2 contestants with the most points by the end of the first block will advance, as will the second block. That's the catch for this weekend's show. The third and final round, better known as the rapid fire round, is worth double the points, and y'all have not been able to see or prepare for the questions in the final round whatsoever, meaning y'all have to be thinking on your feet and preparing for the best answer possible based on what I ask. In the event that there's a tie by the end of the rapid fire round, I'm going to have a bonus question that will help determine our winner. The winner with the most points by the end of the 3 rounds will be our champion and walk out of TSTV Sports' studio one last time as a winner. Now that we reviewed the game's rules, we can move on to getting right into our show. Starting things off, we have our reigning Tournament of Champions winner, a 2-time winner. He's the biggest Washington, D.C. sports fan TSTV has ever seen. Need I say more? Let's welcome on Mr. Ryan Hopper.
Well, thank you, Rob. And, you know, in the wise words of one Jalen Milroe, we're going to let a naysayer know tonight. And you know, I'm ready to ball. You know what I'm saying? 2-time Tournament of Champions champ, and we're ready to go.
Ryan, welcome on. We love the halo mask that you seem to be wearing on your head. Great to have you on. All right. In the next seat, we have our executive producer of the 1-0 Sports Show. We all knew the show's former EP to be Adam Ogburn, a.k.a. Mr. Good Stuff. Well, let me welcome on Mr. Good Vibe, Lakers in 5, Mr. Michael Alvarez.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I low-key forgot the questions, I think. But either way, I'm ready. You know what I mean? It's how we gonna get it done type shit.
All right, in the third seat and finishing off our block, we have a man who is truly a TSTV veteran. You may remember him from his out-of-state coverage for the Michigan game in Ann Arbor or the Big 12 men's basketball tournament in Kansas City. The man who loves to keep it cool always. Let's welcome back Mr. Ikey Kohler.
Hey, Robert, thank you for having me on tonight.
I really do appreciate it. Come on, let's get it going. Come on. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go on the ball game. Let's go on the ball game. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Ikey, it's great to have you back on. Always bringing that energy and positivity. Love to see the three contestants on our panel for our first block here tonight. Welcome, gentlemen. All right, so now that we've introduced our lineup, it's time to jump right into the fire. Y'all know how the rules work. Let's get into it. Number 1 Texas baseball just came off of another series sweep against number 8 Auburn and then barely beat Texas State last night after hitting a grand slam to take a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 9th. With total domination over SEC opponents, but tough struggles in non-conference games, do you worry at all about the Longhorns' performance in the NCAA tournament coming up, or was this game last night just a fluke? Ryan, start this one off.
Well, I'm not too worried about the Horns for the simple reason that they've struggled in the midweek, Rob, because granted, their midweek pitchers are just not that good. Like Cade Bing, he's not that good. But the trio of starters on the weekend are tremendous, and so I'm not that worried. Playoff baseball comes down to pitching. They have a great trio of starters. I get it. There's an injury right now to Jared Spencer. We're concerned about Jared, but they've hit clutch all year, and so I'm not that concerned. I think this could be Texas baseball's first trip to Omaha since 2022. They have clutch hit all year, and they have a lot of great pitching, and we hope Jared Spencer gets back. They have 3 great weekend starters. I think they're going to be all right.
When you're playing in the toughest conference in all of college baseball, it's easy to prepare for those toughest series you have. And then you have little non-conference games on every Tuesday throughout the entire season. It's easy to overlook them. So I understand having a trio for those games, it's very important, and overlooking the non-conference games, it becomes easy. Michael?
Look, hold on. All right, look, we talk about the Texas State game. I mean, that's what 4 years in a row that they beat us here, we beat them there. That's kind of just how the series goes. What are you gonna do? I mean, Texas State, San Marcos is a great place in general. I love going out there. Great parties, great time. But enough about San Marcos. We talk about some Texas baseball. I mean, Texas baseball. I mean, there's a reason that it's they play when it comes to postseason. It's a series. You know what I'm talking about? So I mean, you don't got to beat in one game. They got to beat you 2 or 3 times. They want to make it happen. You're not beating this roster 2 or 3 times. They better than the Lakers, low key. So I mean, like this Texas baseball team was elite. It's the biggest thing is the biggest struggles they had these past years was pitching. Now they're pitching. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I know Spence is out. Spence is our guy. He's our Friday starter. He's out for now. Hopefully he's not out for too long because we're gonna need that guy for real. But other than that, pitching's here. Bats have always been hot. Texas in 3, bro.
Great point right there. Injuries do matter, but Texas in 3, I guess, against anyone in the entire league. Ikey, finish this one off.
Look, we're sitting at 16-2 in conference play, top of the SEC. Mike had a good point. Texas State series has been kind of wonky, but I mean, last night Texas won. Good teams find a way to win baseball games. They find a good way to win baseball games on the road, and that's what determines if a team can have success in the postseason. Okay, Texas has been winning a lot of ball games.
Yeah, that's right.
We swept Auburn. We swept Georgia. And we took 2 out of 3 from LSU. That's right. I mean, baseball's about winning anyway.
Come on.
Anyhow, Mike. Anyway, anyhow. Baseball's about winning anyway, anyhow. And this team knows how to win gritty ball games.
Yes.
This is a gritty team. No reason to be worried about Texas right now. Number 1 team in the nation. I mean, what are we talking about? Come on.
What are you talking about? Amen, brother.
I love the energy and passion. Good teams find a way to get the W and end up in the top of their standings. All right. Shifting gears a little bit here, the NFL draft is here. There's much conversation about where one of the top quarterback prospects, Shedeur Sanders, will land, with many predictions of Cam Ward being the first QB taken in the Rise in Jackson Starts draft stock. Where will Coach Prime's son go to? Michael.
All right, so there was a lot of people talking that he's potential #1, top 3 pick regardless. But now, we move forward. I mean, I think Cam Ward's favored to be #1. And I understand that his nonchalant pocket presence is insane. It's elite. I'm talking about, like, that's crazy. And I'm a big Cam Ward fan because he's got no girl in his life distracting him. He's family first. That man's him. So I mean, I understand him losing that Cam Ward spot. But now when you get out of #1, you drop down kind of heavy because every team after that doesn't need a quarterback right now. They're not looking to change their quarterback room at the moment. I mean, they probably should, but they're not looking to right now. And so it kind of falls in that 21 spot that 21 spot we talk about Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't even think they pick him up. I got Shedeur falling out the first round. I'm low-key hating. I'm a big Shedeur fan. I hope the Raiders take him. But they're not. They're going to pick up Genty. So yeah, go Raiders, go.
All right, I think that might be our wildest take that we've heard in the last 3 episodes, but here you go. Here you have it. All right, Ikey Kohler.
Yeah, Cam Ward's consensus #1. There's a lot of defensive ends and linemen going in this first round of the draft, mainly because after Cam Ward, I think Shedeur is going to fall.
Yep.
And if you're going off pure raw talent alone, yeah, sure, maybe he'll get into the top 12 or so, right? Maybe so, but his college results don't speak that way. I mean, he's, like 13-12 overall. He didn't win a bowl game. He's finished 9th in the Heisman Trophy. Okay, like, I think he falls to pick 21 in the Steelers. They're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. They can't wait forever. So the safe pick for them would be to maybe take Shedeur there.
Shedeur Sanders going to Colin Flickinger's Pittsburgh Steelers. I wonder how he feels about that pick in the back room right now. Maybe he loves it. Maybe he doesn't like it. We don't know because he's the first, I think, Pittsburgh fan we've had in our recent memory for being on TSTV here.
Watch guy, he probably likes. There's a watch.
Ryan Hopper.
Well, Rob, I mean, Shedeur held the ball too long in college, and you get an extra 1 to 2 seconds in college. He held the ball too long in college. Personally, I don't think Shedeur is that good of an NFL quarterback. The processing is not there. And ultimately, I think he's going to slide down the boards as a result of that. Also, you got to look at the pre-draft interviews. One NFL coach said it was the worst pre-draft interview for a quarterback he has ever seen. He is entitled because he's Deion Sanders' son. And that just doesn't sit well with me. Are you going to trust your franchise with Shedeur Sanders? Probably not. But because quarterback is such a premium position in this league, some team is going to talk themselves into Shedeur Sanders, even though he's not half the athlete his father was. And so I think he ultimately will go before 21 to the Steelers, but I think he'll slip a while. I don't think the Browns will take him at #2. Cam Ward's the clear #1 in this class. And I think he's the only starting quarterback in this class. I think Shedeur is kind of a bum, to be honest, Rob.
Ryan Hopper also laying it out there for Shedeur Sanders. All right. Great answers all around. Obviously, we won't find out until tomorrow night. But moving on to the NBA playoffs, in the Eastern Conference, the Cavaliers and the Celtics remain as the frontrunners to advance to the NBA Finals, while the Knicks and Pistons are also poised to make a deep playoff run. Given the more even nature of this side of the NBA playoff bracket, which team do you have winning the Eastern Conference Finals and playing basketball in June? Ikey.
Yeah, so my finals prediction, Eastern Conference Finals prediction, is going to be the Celtics and the Cavs, okay? Celtics and the Cavs are 20-5 against the Knicks, the Pacers, the Pistons, and the Bucks, okay? That's their big competition in the East right now, okay? In addition, they're both in the top 10 in the East in scoring offense and scoring defense. Comes to the Eastern Conference Finals, Celtics are the defending champions. They return most of their team. Celtics are making it to the finals.
All right. Repeating once again, Joe Mazzulla, you see him shouting at Jason Tatum the other night. Tatum's on the floor. Mazzulla's like, get up, what are you doing? I mean, making his players tough. All right, Ryan.
They've been tough.
Well, it's not just because I think the Celtics have the best roster that they're coming out of the East. It's the fact that Joe Mazzulla, as we have mentioned, is a basketball sicko. Have you seen these press conferences with Joe Mazzulla? Like, he's just a sicko, Rob. He's a great coach. They have the sixth man of the year in Peyton Pritchard. I think the Celtics will come out of the East again. That's not what I want to happen. I would like to see an upstart team like the Cavs make it out. But the Celtics are deeper. They're better. I think you're going to see them in the finals again. But I think that they'll probably get beat by a team out of the West in the finals. I mean, Jason Tatum's a great player. Jaylen Brown. I think they will come out of the East. And you look at their path, they can coast against the Magic. The Magic have had an awful second half. Then second round, the Knicks aren't very good offensively, even though they built their team offensively because of Coach Tibbs. He doesn't know how to coach offense. The Pistons, if they get out of that series, are way too young. The Celtics have an easy path to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it's going to be the Celtics, unfortunately.
Never have I ever...
Irish, Ryan. Hopscotch, look at the Irish, come on.
Y'all just agreed with each other, but never have I heard so much disagreement in between.
It was unfortunate. I mean, look at the Irish. Luck is fortunate. I mean, come on now.
All right. There you go, Michael.
Yeah, it's clear the Celtics have the best put-together roster, maybe in the NBA. And the Cavs, they probably second that. Those are two elite teams. Celtics here, Celtics there, Cavs anywhere. Cavs not winning nothing with LeBron. Let's be honest here. So let's just get them out the conversation completely. And we'll go to the Celtics. Honestly, I don't really like the Celtics. I'm not a big Jason Tatum fan. Honestly, I like the roster. I can't stand Jason Tatum. He's too corny. He's too light-skinned. He plays too much like a... I can't say that word on air. And you know what? Screw all that. I don't care that they got Darvin Hands and Pocket Ham. I don't care that they got Doc Rivers haven't won anything in 25 years. Give me the Bucks to make it out the East, baby. We're gonna make it shake. They're down 0-2 right now. We're supposed to be scared about that? We supposed to worry about that right now? We're down 0-2. That's not a problem. That's not a problem though. They got what's it called? I mean, the Celtics have playoff and championship experience, yeah. But so do the Bucks. And you know, Dame's coming back from his what, he had a blood clot, right? That's so unfortunate. He's a dog. Dame time. But I mean, you give Giannis, Giannis, they have a good roster behind them. I was so mad when they gave him Drew Holiday, bro. I was so mad when they gave Drew Holiday. They just basically gifted the Celtics a ring. But whatever, give me the Bucks, man.
They're down 0-2, Rob.
So the Bucks are down 0-2 right now.
Halliburton got a whack jumper. He got a whack jumper, Rob. Remember that.
7-game series. All right.
Whack jumper.
The first 3 questions are in the books. Like last week, it was the very, very tough round to call, and unfortunately, only 2 of you this time will remain. I hate to eliminate the other one of you on here from the show, since it's likely your final time on TSTV, but that's how the game goes, unfortunately. But if you are that one whose Crossfire and TSTV career will be ending, please stay on for just a few seconds as we want to applaud you for your efforts this semester and for your entire college career. And please give us a round of applause. Give us your favorite memory. So the final 2 moving on to the rapid fire are Brian Hopper and Ikey Kohler. Sorry, it was the Bucks that did it. It was the Bucks.
When the Bucks make it out the East, bro, don't come tell me to come back on, bro. That's all.
Do you have some final words, Michael Alvarez?
I got some. All right, enough fun and games. I've been grateful for my time on Texas Student Television, especially the sports department, and I've done nothing else, to be honest. It's been a great time. I've met a lot of great people, made some good connections, had some great memories, and screw any of that. This Friday morning, 11 o'clock, tune in to the One and Only Sports Show, baby. We pulling up one last time. I'm plugging it in right now. If I don't see at least some of these people here, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed.
You're gonna be pissed.
I'm gonna be real pissed. Like, shit, bro. Come on. Like, what are we doing? Y'all never want to show up. Show up for the one time. Fuck. Hey, let's go.
You heard it here first. The One and Only Sports Show on Friday morning. Show up and be there. I'm talking to you, Connor Claypool. That is going to conclude our first round, but the second one with a new trio of contestants will start soon. Don't go anywhere. College Crossfire returns in just a sec. Welcome back to College Crossfire. Overall, some great answers from our... Probably the most love I've gotten all year. Overall, some great answers from our first block of contestants in the night's first round. But as you know, only Ryan Hopper and Ikey Kohler will be moving on. Now on to our second round. It's time to introduce our contestants. In the second seat, our script and our orders messed up first a little bit, but Joe, you're going first, Joe. In the second seat, we have a man who has lived and breathed College Crossfire for the past 3 years. He's dealt with the heartbreak of the Atlanta Falcons and some intramural sports here on campus. But one thing that he hasn't broken his heart, College Crossfire winning. For the final time, let's welcome back on Mr. Justin Goosman.
Rob, you mentioned some intramural heartbreak. We didn't have that today. We won our volleyball game. We're moving on to the semifinals. We're bringing home that shirt. So don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, he framed it as a championship.
It was the third round of the playoffs. Third round.
Hey, that's crunch time. That's crunch time. All right. In the middle seat, in the first seat, we have a man who did a phenomenal job running College Press Box this entire year. He and our EP, Tyler Moss, have truly helped keep our sports department running weekly. It's his first appearance back after willingly giving up his win to Ryan Hopper back in the fall. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back on Mr. Joseph Duffey.
Robbie G, it's an honor to be back on College Crossfire. Glad to be with these great gentlemen, Justin Goosman and Ryan Swantkowski, for the final time. It's a dynamic trio, if you will, so I'm glad to be back on.
How was WrestleMania?
WrestleMania it was pretty mid, to be honest. I wish The Rock pulled up, but you know what? It was a mid card, so.
Hoping that 42 is a little bit better. WrestleMania 42.
Hopefully.
All right. And last but not least, a man who needs no introduction, a contestant who has known College Crossfire through thick and thin, last year's host and a reoccurring panelist on this semester's episodes, Houston Sports' #1 fan. Let's welcome back Mr. Ryan Swantkowski.
Warriors in 5.
All right. Robert G, thank you for that great introduction. Great to be here. Got the trio, like Joe said. It's I'm excited to be here, and it's let's have a good time.
So is this like Curry, LeBron, KD? Is this like the Avengers from the summer?
He's Curry, obviously.
Joe's LeBron.
Hey, which one's Joel Embiid?
What?
I'm just kidding with y'all. All right. Tomorrow night, the top NFL prospects will await for their name to be called to play ball at the biggest stage in the world. This year, the Texas Longhorns have enough prospects that could potentially break the record for most players drafted from a school in a single year in the modern draft era. Will Texas break this record? And depending on how many Longhorns get drafted, which player from Texas will be the last one drafted and the first one to go undrafted? Joe.
Had to think a little bit for this question, Robbie G, because there's a lot of guys on the board. But props again to Steve Sarkisian and Chris Del Conte for a wonderful job turning around this Texas program. When I was in high school, this team was awful, like clearly. But, since the Alabama game, it's been only up from there. I'm going to go with Hayden Connor, the last player drafted, offensive guard for Texas. Going to be maybe a 6th or 7th round pick, I bet. Great player. Doesn't have the best feet in the world. Okay mechanics. The player that's going to go first undrafted, probably Silas Bolden. For those who watch those games at Texas, of course, you think he's about to fumble every single punt return, but somehow he holds on. I'm going to go with those two, Hayden Connor, Silas Bolden. Not going to get drafted. May just get drafted possibly in the 7th round if he gets lucky. If not, I'm going to go him to be the first undrafted.
Hayden Connor, one of those top high school prospects going into UT, but kind of didn't. He was a great O-lineman, started all 4 years, but didn't pan out to be one of the top NFL prospects. Meanwhile, Silas Bolden, he did make us worry a lot about his fumbling. I don't think you could find an actual recorded fumble in the books, but every time we were always just holding our breath, making sure that he wouldn't fumble when that punt was kicked off in the air. All right, Justin, who do you have? And will they break the record?
I'm gonna be honest. Texas is not breaking the record. You got guys like Maurice Blackwell Jr. and Juan Davis that are eligible for the draft. They're not gonna get drafted. I don't think Texas is gonna break the record. They're gonna get close. The last player drafted is gonna be Jaden Blue. I think Hayden Connor is gonna go a little earlier than a lot of other people expect. I think Jaden Blue is gonna be the last player drafted for Texas. And then the first player undrafted, I didn't exactly know what you meant because the first player undrafted technically is like all of the other players undrafted.
First player missed the draft.
I mean, honestly, not totally sure. But I don't think Texas is going to break the record, so we'll see.
I like it.
Yeah, good. I don't think Texas is going to break the record either. I got them having 14 draft picks. Georgia in 2022 had 15. They're going to come just one short. I got Hayden Connor also being the last drafted. Jaden Blue is going to go in like the 5th round, maybe even sooner, actually. He's got scalable potential in the NFL. He's got good speed. We'll see. First player to not go drafted is David Benda. Respect for what he's done here at UT, but respect for that dude ain't getting drafted. No way. So I got Hayden Connor and David Benda.
David Benda, huge character on and off the field. Remember, we saw that interception that he had against Ohio State in the 3rd quarter to kind of shift the momentum. Of course, they didn't score from that possession, but big momentum shifter right there. David Benda, a great player. But it's honestly interesting to see which players, how will they go, how early will they go, which players will barely miss the draft. But it's going to be, I mean, I'm definitely watching the draft more than I am in recent years. All right, moving on now. So, getting back into the NBA playoffs here. The first round took place this past weekend as teams did exactly what they wanted to take away the home court advantage from others. The Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers are two teams who have now lost one home playoff game, and after tonight, will travel to San Francisco or Minnesota for 2 away games. For both of these teams, the Lakers and the Rockets, what is the main thing that they need to do to put the series back in their grasp and avoid going home earlier than they expected? Justin.
For the Lakers, it's pretty easy. Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, they have to play off of each other, right? The first game, there was no cohesion on the offensive end. It was all Luka. LeBron and Austin Reeves did not look like they knew what they were doing offensively. They locked in defensively, but they really couldn't stop Anthony Edwards. So if it's Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, they have to move off the ball. They have to figure out what they're going to do offensively. They don't have a rim protector, so all of their answers will be on the offensive end. For the Houston Rockets, it's very simple. We know what they're going to bring defensively, but Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet, I mean, you have to shoot the ball better than 20%. Otherwise, you are going to end up in Shanghai, my friend. That is what is going to happen. You have to shoot the ball better. 20% from the field from your 2 best guards. It is unacceptable. They have to shoot the ball better if they're going to beat the Warriors. It's going to be Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green from the perimeter that do it offensively.
Wow. Okay, I'll start here with the Lakers. Just trust your instincts. You've been there before. LeBron's been there. How many times? I can't even count on 2 hands how many times LeBron's been there. Trust your instincts. Trust your gut. Simple, easy. For the Rockets, it's got to be Jalen Green, the Rockets' best player all season long, outside of Alvarez Sengun, averaging over 20 points per game. Last 4 games, besides the one being played tonight, has had single-digit points, which is just completely unacceptable. He's got to shoot the rock. But what did you say, Santi, over there? He's already got 12 points right now, proving my point already, and the Rockets are up like 15. So when he gets in double digits and he plays well, the Rockets perform much better than they did or will do in Game 1. So I said Jalen Green's the main key there.
Joe, bring this one home.
For the Lakers, for me, it's got to be physicality. You look at that Game 1 loss, they were just getting out physical. I mean, you see like how, J.J. Redick and, of course, Darvin Ham, and who was the previous coach, he was trying to emphasize physicality. And then you see after that post-game press conference, J.J. Redick saying they're playing pretty soft. I'm like, do you want to bring back Darvin Ham then? You got hired to bring a change to the Lakers. So I would say physicality is the reason why they lost. If they want to win against the Timberwolves of all teams, you got to be physical. Now for the Rockets, I think stopping Steph Curry is obviously the X factor, but I think it has to be defense for the Rockets as well. Defense for both answers, I guess. I don't know too much about the Rockets, but look, I mean, the Rockets defense, they got to find a way to limit Steph Curry, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We're playing hard out there. Salute. Hashtag shout out Darvin Ham.
No, I actually really like that answer. As much as he is hated, Dylan Brooks does align with that answer, and I think he will turn up this series. Speaking of which, I just got an update on the screen. The Rockets are currently leading 48-35 with 2 minutes and 53 seconds in the second quarter. Red Nation is up. All right. So, with the final non-rapid fire question of the year, we are going to revisit Texas football one last time. Texas's golden boy, Arch Manning, has waited 2 years and is now the new man under center. There are also many players on the offense leaving with new roles needing to be filled. With a new look Texas team that has ended up being a newer one than how much last year's was, what are your ultimate predictions for the 2025 team and how far will their success reach? Ryan Swantkowski, bring it home.
Bring it home, Swank.
All right, got to be realistic here in my last answer. I got the Horns going 10-2 this coming season. They went 11-1 last season with a very stacked team. 10-2 this year. I have them losing to Georgia at Georgia and losing to in a strange game either at Florida or at Kentucky, one of those two. With Arch Manning coming in, it's going to be his first quality real-time throws that he's going to make, not just using his legs. The O-line lost a lot to the draft. The wide receiver lost a lot to the draft. There's a lot of moving pieces that happen this offseason. I'm going to need to see some cohesion and just some chemistry all around. Defense remains pretty solid. Some veterans back there. Offensive line is really what's going to be the main key. I think they make it to the second round of the playoffs. Hopefully they can go further than that. Honest prediction, 10-2, make it second round of the playoffs, and then go out, unfortunately.
Do they go to the playoffs as a conference champion, or do they get there by winning the first round?
I mean, if 10-2 gets you in the conference, great. I don't know if we're going to win the Horns win the SEC this year. I don't think this year is that year, but I think they get in at 10-2 and make it to the second round. I don't think we win the SEC. Them.
All right, O-line definitely a big factor that's needing to be filled. Joe.
I'm going to go 11-1, Robbie G. Losing to Ohio State to start the season. There's something about that place. And then from there, winning 11. Come on. That's realistic. Winning 11 straight. From there, winning 11 straight. Look, the SEC is not as, dangerous as I thought it was going to be. Again, Texas has a pretty easy schedule. It's pretty light, to be honest. I mean, you have A&M at home, which is not exactly a big challenge, but it'll be a big game, obviously. But other than that, it's not really a bad schedule except Georgia, like he was saying, in Athens. So I think they can win every other game except the Ohio State game because it's the first game of the year, Arch Manning's debut as the full-time starter. But I'm leaning on the defense to really carry this Texas team again. Pete Kwiatkowski did a great job last year. I thought he would have gotten a new job as a head coach, but he's back with Anthony Hill, a second-year Colin Simmons, who I think could be the SEC DPOY. I have this team winning 11 straight after losing to Ohio State and being the national champion after going to 11-1. That's how you win them back. That's how you win them back.
All right, going bold for the second answer. All right, final non-rapid fire, not bold, but like national championship. You gotta be bold. National championship. Not final non-rapid fire answer of the year. Justin Goosman, what is it going to be? What is the goose gonna say? Nothing but the best.
I've got Texas losing one game but winning the national championship. The one game they lose is going to be to Florida in the swamp with DJ Lagway at quarterback. They're going to go into Columbus and get a win versus Ohio State. They're going to beat Georgia. They have Arch Manning. The offensive line is not going to be as big of an issue as everyone thinks because of his dynamic ability as a runner, but it's really going to be the backfield that gets it done for Texas. They're going to bring back Trey Wisner. They're going to bring back CJ Baxter, who's coming off of an injury, but one of the most dynamic running backs in the entire country. I have Texas going all the way and winning the national championship with the golden boy under center, Arch Manning, bringing it home for the Longhorns.
All right, so here we have Arch getting it done in Gainesville. Here we have Arch getting it done in Columbus. Here we have Arch getting it done in Gainesville.
Yeah.
All right. But not Columbus, making it very hard. All right. a great second round from the three of y'all. Everyone made this round so exciting, and it's really hard to pick only two winners who can move on. All right. The person moving on here is going to be Mr. Joseph Duffey. You're Mr. Tournament of Champions over here. What are you talking about? All right. Justin and Ryan, what final words, departing thoughts? Go to break. We're going to break. Welcome back into College Crossfire. As you all know, only two contestants remain, with one of them giving their final goodbye here in just a second. This next round is for all the marbles. Only one senior will win and get to leave the studio as a champion. If you're no stranger to Crossfire, you know that we're about to begin our third and final round, Rapid Fire. Double the points, double the pressure. It's about to get hot.
Let's go!
Before we get right into our first question, Ikey Kohler, we said there were two contestants coming on. Unfortunately, there's only one, and Ryan Hopper takes that. Your final parting words for TSTV Sports, what are they?
I just want to thank TSTV Sports for everything. A lot of opportunities here. Congratulations to Joe and Ryan getting here, and Goose and Ryan Swank. Hey, fellas, it's been a hell of a run. So, y'all have a good last round.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ikey, it's been a pleasure. Let's get right into our first question. Your 4 years on the 40 acres have come to an end, and so has your time on the lovely places around it. While we may not have seen each other much outside of class and here in the studio, we definitely all share many places in common where we go to have a drink, watch a game, or simply just have a good time. With that being said, what is the best bar in West Campus to go to, and why?
You got it, Hop. All you.
Well, so the best bar, and this is unfortunate due to the changing landscape that there is in Austin, the best bar, Rob, was the original Cain and Abel's, not the new one, the original Cain and Abel's. Those of us fortunate enough to get in there with a fake ID know that it was a great vibe. The wooden walls, everything, the new cables cannot replace it. It was tremendous. I can't believe that they let a high-rise apartment take its place. The original Cain and Abel's, it's been there for decades for a reason. It was a spot, Rob.
Robert G, I gotta go with Hole in the Wall. What a great place. You get live music. I mean, look, you know, Victory Lap does country music every now and then. I think they stopped doing it this semester. But, you know, Pong is not gonna cut it over their little trash bins they got over there. I gotta go with Hole in the Wall. Give me the live music, a small communal feeling. Yeah. Hole in the Wall probably for me.
Hole in the Wall with the karaoke they bring, it's a very fun place, you know. Right there on Guad, right next to Mockingbird Saloon. Great spot to go to. Both great spots.
Cool. Dang.
Damn.
All right, the University of Texas has produced many legendary athletes since the time the school started playing sports. From Heisman winners to Olympians, there's no single sport where we can't find a Longhorn playing at the next level. But narrowing down the time frame here, who is the best Longhorn from your time at the school and why?
Definitely not Quinn Ewers, unfortunately. I'm probably going to go Bijan Robinson. Nobody has had the pulse of this Texas student section other than a guy like Bijan Mustardson. I mean, you see in the brand right there, the NIL deal. He clearly has, the best marketing team of any NIL athlete here at Texas. But you look at how people cheer him every time he comes back. He's clearly one of the most respected athletes I've had since I've been here. Other than that, I don't think really anybody else comes close.
I'll tell you who comes close. Two-time national champion, far surpasses Bijan Robinson. Maddie Skinner, two-time national champion of the volleyball team, Rob. I mean, volleyball, a non-revenue sport, player of the year. Look, volleyball, how many volleyball games have we watched? Not that many, but we have watched a few because this team has been so dominant. She got an H-E-B commercial, Rob. Come on, man. Volleyball, a non-revenue sport, being able to do that. National Player of the Year, it's Maddie Skinner.
Did she go to Paris? I think her sister went to Paris. Was on the volleyball team.
Yeah.
One of them went to Paris. All right. Both great answers. And it's safe to say that as our time at the University of Texas, we've had our fair share of highs and lows, dominating wins, and upsets here at this school. If you had to pick one Longhorn sports memory to call your favorite during your time as a student, which would that be and why? Who's taking it first? I believe I saw Ryan Hopper's hand raised first, but
So it has to be when football, the premier program on this campus, arrived in the national stage, and it was when they marched into Tuscaloosa and beat Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. It was the last regular season loss in the legendary Nick Saban's career. I remember sitting there watching that game thinking, we have a chance, but I'm not sure that we can do it. And then that Quinn Ewers lollipop deep ball to Xavier Worthy, caught it in the back of the end zone with McConaughey and them right there to celebrate. That was a moment, and I was like, oh, my God, we can do it. We have arrived. That was the moment.
what other memory parallels, Joe? What other?
I gotta go with last year's K-State game, man. That was a great game. See, the ball knowers know. The ball knowers know. See, Will Howard's name. He was the K-State quarterback, of course. Quinn Ewers got hurt in the middle of the game. We saw Malik Willis almost blow the game. Not Malik Willis.
Malik Willis.
Oh my God. What is his name? His whatever his name. Malik Murphy. He did a great job, holding it down. But it was a bad game by Chris Kleiman at the end, trying to go for fourth down, and the Texas defense really held it down. It was a great environment, a great win against a ranked K-State Wildcat team.
All right.
That was a good one.
All right. As you know, two seniors, final time on TSTV, unless you're going on the one on Friday. There can only be one winner, but the totals have been totaled up. And tonight's winner on the senior show of College Crossfire is Mr. Joseph Duffey.
Oh!
Wow.
We did it again. That's how you go out. You got to go out on top. I love you, TSTV Sports. It's been an honor to be co-sports director. Thank you, Tyler Moss and Greg Beal back there. It's been a great show.
Sports director Joe.
All right.
Joe deserves it.
Joseph Duffey, congrats to you again. Brian Hopper, thanks for coming on. That will wrap things up for here at TSTV and College Crossfire Spring 2025 Senior Show and for TSTV Sports tonight. I've been absolutely honored to host this show every single week and be a part of all the production and excitement. Thank you to everyone who makes this show possible, from the contestants, the in-studio personnel, all the people in Master Control like Gabriel Silva and Tyler Moss, our producers. And to you, the audience, thanks for tuning in. Remember to watch the 1-0 show on Friday. For one final time, signing off from the studio and for TSTV Sports, I'm your host, Robert Gonsoulin. Have a great night.